All right, they're called the Problem Solvers Caucus, equal number of Republicans and Democrats who, rather than pontificate about positions that really don't go anywhere unless something can be done, they try to get something done. There's a concept, and they have a plan, an alternative on, well, infrastructure that could satisfy both sides. A little too early to tell, but they're trying. Here exclusively with us, two key members of that committee. We have Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick, Republican of Pennsylvania, Problem Solvers Caucus co-chair, also California Democrat Scott Peters. Gentlemen, welcome to both of you, and thank you for taking the time. Chairman, if I could begin with you on what this plan involves and how different it might be from the Republican plan that the president essentially rejected. Can you update me?
Sure, Neil. Thanks for having us. We have a very simple motto. We'd rather, get 80% of something than 100% of nothing. We looked at both the Republican and Democrat proposal. We saw what the criticisms were from the opposite party, and we tried to put something together that, obviously nobody's in love with, Neil. That's the whole point of compromise. That's the sort of the essence of our caucus. Nobody's in complete love with the plan, but everybody's okay with it. And that's the only way you get bipartisan compromise. So we came up with a price tag that was almost dead in the middle of the two competing proposals. It's about $1.25 trillion over an 8-year period. It covers, a lot of buckets that upset the Republicans, a lot of buckets that upset the Democrats. It was probably too pricey for the Republicans, not enough money for the Democrats, but we were able to get 75% of our 58-member caucus to get on board with it, and we've taken the lead. And now the Senate's going to do the same. Kirsten Sinema, Bill Cassidy are taking the lead for us in the Senate. If they come up with something similar, which we think they will, we'll marry the two proposals. We will have a bipartisan, bicameral option for the administration to consider.
Congressman Peters, have you heard, or have either of you heard from the president, and whether the White House finds your proposal intriguing?
Well, I often say that people ask me about Joe Biden. I want to say thank you to Joe Biden for giving us this list of things that we know he would support, assuming we can figure out a way to pay for it. And obviously, we, as Brian said, we have to look for points of agreement. And there's so much agreement on a lot of this hard infrastructure, the bridges, the roads, the broadband, the electric grid. We can't let that opportunity go by. So what we can do for the president and present to the president is some agreement among members of Congress. All of us were elected the same day as Joe Biden. If I think we can get the votes together and a proposal together, I think it's got to be attractive.
Congressman Peters, to finish that point, though, many in your party are not keen on a package that doesn't include tax hikes. Yours, by and large, I believe, and you can update me, does not. And I'm wondering if that's going to be a tough pill for your Democratic colleagues to swallow.
A lot of us, including me, think that President Trump did great damage to the tax code and needs to be fixed. That doesn't have to be done in this bill. Again, we're looking for agreement, and if we do a $1 trillion infrastructure project, I mean that's a kind of number that 5 or 6 years ago we would have just said is impossible. But it's a historic opportunity. It's one we need to take advantage of to compete with China, to create jobs, to keep our economy going, and to keep economic growth. So we can't solve all the problems in one bill, and I think Brian and I may have a disagreement about how to tackle the tax code as we go forward. But here, let's find a way to get together on infrastructure, and I think this is pretty promising.
I'll flip the same kind of question to you, Congressman Fitzpatrick, because a lot of your Republican colleagues were open to user fees, the possibility of tolls, that sort of thing, to pay for this sort of thing. The president relayed this week, or at least the White House did, that the president himself was opposed to gas taxes or any type of a mileage tax, which would impact those who buy electric vehicles or own them right now. Where does that stand in this proposal?
Yeah, so phase one, which we agreed to at the governor's mansion in Annapolis, Governor Hogan, was the definition of infrastructure. What we just endorsed this past week was a scope, 1.25 over 8. And the third phase are the paid fors. One of the things we believe very strongly, Neil, is that a wise federal infrastructure dollar spent will yield $2, $3, $4 in private investment. A poor dollar spent will yield 20 cents of the dollar in private investment. They just built a beautiful expansion in the Salt Lake City airport. Delta helped finance that. If we do a big broadband build out, Comcast, Netflix, they're going to benefit. They should have some skin in the game. If we're going to have charging stations for electric vehicles, Tesla should have some skin in the game. We should build those public-private partnerships to use that as a force multiplier to exponentially expand the reach of the federal taxpayer dollar.
You know, gentlemen, I've said this before, but I respect the heck out of you guys for trying to find a middle ground. A lot of people get married to their positions and they just don't blink and they won't give an inch. But it's all about getting something done. I believe Congressman Fitzpatrick has said better to get 80% of what you want than none at all. And that makes a good deal of sense to you as well, Congressman Peters. I'm just wondering, though, why this can't extend to all your colleagues to find this middle ground. And by that, I guess I fault in general maybe the hyper nature of our times. Why can't everyone get around to the fact, as Ronald Reagan would say, negotiating with Tip O'Neill, we both aim to get something to help each side. Why can't we? And I'll begin that with you, Congressman Peters.
I've been in Congress since 2013, and it's always struck me that there's so much division. There's the biggest problem in America is not any particular policy issue. It's the fact we're so divided against each other. And I think that, you know, in our group, the problem solvers, folks like Brian and I, we come to Congress to solve problems. That's why we come. You know, I often say I don't go to Washington, D.C. for the weather. I'm from San Diego. I want to get something done. And, you know, I just think it's we're so honored to be a part of this great American democracy. And for us not to get something done, I think is really a waste. And so only speaking for myself, but you know, like I said, I think being part of the problem solvers is a really important part of the Congress for creating solutions, for finding progress. And, you know, we proved that over last year during COVID in a divided government. We came up with 5 bipartisan COVID relief plans, including the last one, $908 billion, when both sides were stalled. We aim to do that with infrastructure too. It can be done, right?
All right. Gentlemen, I want to thank you both. You're a model example of how you move the ball forward. There is a concept. Thank you, guys. I very much appreciate it. All right.